back to my channel. How's everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are watching this. Hope everybody is doing great. So we're here, my first I don't know if you want to call it an episode, but just the first video of my series talking about Let's Talk About the Bullshit, which is based off of my book. If you have not gotten it, please go get yourself a copy. The Shit They Did Not Tell You About Your 20s. It is available on Amazon. Again, I will put the description in the link in the description box for you guys to order it. It's available on Kindle and in paperback. So I decided that I wanted to basically talk about my book. I was originally gonna do it on Instagram and do an Instagram live, but I felt like, why not just do a YouTube series about it? And I felt like that would just be a little more, how do you say, natural? Because as you guys know, my channel is about full, uncut, unedited, raw as possible. So I figured, why not? Let's just do it on YouTube. I look a little like hot, a little sweaty. I hope it's not coming off on the camera that way, but yeah, I'm just a little hot. It's a little hot in here. But I didn't want to turn the AC on because then it would have been too loud and then y'all wouldn't have heard me, so we're just gonna work through it. But anyway, so basically what the series are basically gonna talk about is every chapter of the book and going into kind of more of a depth into what I was talking about in each chapter. So let's not even babble. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. Let's get it. So we're back. Okay, so the first chapter, and I wrote some notes, so if I look down, that's the only reason why I'm looking down, because I just didn't want to sidetrack and keep saying and try to think of the next thing. So I wrote down my notes just to basically think about, see, and I'm doing it already. To basically know where it is that I'm talking, or where I'm going to pinpoint on the things that have happened in the chapter. Okay, so the first chapter is Welcome to the Party. Now, I started labeling the chapters based off of years, but then I was like, well, maybe some years, like what had happened to me during Welcome to the Party was more of my 22-year-old stage. But for some people, it may not be at that exact age. So I was like, let me just refrain from doing ages or doing years instead of doing chapter titles. So the first chapter was Welcome to the Party, or is Welcome to the Party. And that was back in 2014, 2013. Wow, that was a long time ago. Now that I think about it, we're in 2022, but it was really a fun year. I had went to almost every party uptown that they had. If y'all don't know what uptown is, that's basically the Bronx, part of the Bronx. We call it uptown. It was kind of a mix of, correct me if I'm wrong for anybody who's watching this from uptown, but I remember it being from Gun Hill all the way up to 241st. And we also had a little bit of Westchester, so we had Mount Vernon in there as well, and that's where some of the parties were happening over there by 241st, and like the little, I forgot the name of the street, but I think it was 241st, but it's just that area where they had, what was it, Twins Lounge? I think that's what it was called, Twins Lounge in Mount Vernon. I think, it may not be, but that was a club though. I do remember going to Twins Lounge. But there was a bunch of other clubs that I had went to, a bunch of parties that me and my friends would go to. My parents had a minivan, and they had the minivan really just to, it was for me and my brother to chauffeur us around. And, you know, we just needed the space because we're a tall family. But it then became like the friend wagon, like all my friends, we would just hop in the minivan. I would drive. I wasn't much of a drinker. I'm still not much of a drinker. Like, I'll have a drink here and there. I've gotten drunk maybe, and literally, I'm not even joking, from then until now, I've probably gotten drunk maybe 4 times. I don't like the feeling of it. I got drunk my first time on my 21st birthday, and I was just like, yeah, no, never again. And then I ended up doing it again, and I was just like, yeah, no, never again. And as I got older, hangovers, I don't know how y'all do it, but hangovers, nope, they're not for me. So I just refrain from drinking that much. I'm more of a wine person now. I don't really do the hard liquor, but I will dip and dab into some hard liquor, mostly dark liquor. Not really so much light liquor. But yeah, that was the time, my 2021. That was some good times. I had also went to Vegas. So a part of the chapter also talks about Vegas. So me and a friend at the time had went to Vegas. We stayed at the Bellagio Hotel. It was, if you've ever been to Vegas, it's the hotel that's right in the middle, directly right in the middle. That's where they do the water shows. And that is right where they do the water shows, right? I think so, yeah. And we stayed at that one. We never been to Vegas, and it was our first time. And I remember it was Memorial Day weekend. And I don't know why we didn't ask any of the other girls, but it was just me and her that went. So I don't really recall why nobody else went with us. But it was our first time going, so we made the best of it. We had a great time. The flight headed over there was hilarious. I don't know if it's still like that. It may be, or it had just been that time, but the turbulence getting to the airport was a roller coaster. We were literally on the plane with our hands up, like up, down. Like, luckily nobody was sick or motion sickness on the flight. So we were literally trying our hardest to like enjoy the ride, but crossing our fingers like, oh my god, I hope this plane does not go down. I hope this plane does not go down. And then after the we landed, or when we not landed, but when it started to coast out, one of the guys on the flight said, I'm buying everybody shots. So he bought everybody shots, and we took a shot on the flight because it was crazy. But yeah, so we stayed at the Bellagio, and it's a nice hotel. I won't say that it's bad. It's actually it's a pretty decent hotel. So yeah, once we got there, we landed, and we didn't get to take a picture in front of the Welcome to Vegas sign that you normally see when you fly in. I guess we were just so excited, we just like beelined it to the transportation and just got in our, it wasn't Uber then, it was just a cab service, I guess. So that's what we did. And we was taking pictures as we was heading down the strip, and just like in awe of like, oh my god, we're here, it's Vegas, we're on the West Coast, oh my god. And we were just really excited to just like enjoy the weekend. And the airport was full, all college kids, all like just everybody, it was just a bunch of people. And we were so excited, like we was like a kid in a candy store, like just excited. So when we got there, we actually we had some, I think we got there in the afternoon, so we had some lunch or whatever, and we just walked the strip. And if you've ever been to Vegas, I don't know if it's been years, so I obviously don't know if it's still the same, but I'm pretty sure it probably is. You can't, like in New York, you could just jaywalk in the middle of the street. Vegas, you can't do that. You have to walk all the way down the block, stop, wait, and then walk back. We were so like just pissed, like, why the hell can't we just hop this barrier? And then the cop that was actually like standing there, he's like, nope, you can't do that, you'll get a ticket for it. And we didn't even, like, clearly we saw that there were barriers there, but we just didn't think like, okay, you can get a ticket for doing that, so whatever. But we ended up having to walk all the way down the block just to see everything, and then cut back to go to our hotel. It was just so weird. But they had the barriers, so you couldn't jaywalk and you couldn't cross the street that way. And I guess it does make sense because it is a people drink, party, have a good time, and God forbid someone ends up running in the middle of the street and off of whatever the hell they drank or took, and they end up dead. So it makes sense. But also maybe it's just a state law. But either way, it was very interesting to see. So naming this chapter Welcome to the Party was basically me being introduced to more of the party scene than I was when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. Like, who hasn't partied at that age as well? I mean, I was going to these teen parties that they had, some in New Rochelle. I forgot, I think it was like called Club Z or something like that. They would have high school, like, senior parties and stuff as well. And even like regular teenage parties they had, like at 16, 17, I was going to these parties, and I knew, like, I was a party goer, but I didn't go like to all of these 21 and older scenes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of stayed in my lane. Like, if it was a teenage party, I was going to a teenage party because I was a teenager. But I never really navigated into the adult side of partying and, you know, partying with the adults. So it was interesting to actually be a part of that and to see the difference. So yeah, that was basically my thing, was just like to party and party and party. So when we were there in Vegas, we actually we literally partied every day, like every single day. Went to day parties, night parties, went to, what was it, Diddy's pool party. We went to all these parties, and the crazy, I think maybe it was just because of that weekend, but the crazy thing is, a lot of the bouncers weren't letting certain girls in if they didn't look or meet the criteria, I guess, of whatever was going on in the club. And we were just like, damn, she just got turned away. Or they'll say like, okay, you guys are $50, but you're $80. Like, right in their face, and say something like that. I'm like, how can they say something like that? We got into, I think, maybe one club for free. The other ones we paid for, but the other ones we did get into for free. And at the time too, there was somebody who I was working with, and he had went down there with some of his boys, and we all happened to just meet up at the same club. So we was all in the same sections and everything together. So that ended up working out for us as well. But I mean, it was just so packed. Like, if you've ever gone anywhere for Memorial Day weekend, you know what I'm talking about. And it was just people, black people. It was just people, regardless, but it was just so many people. And I was just like, yo, I always got to go away from Memorial Day weekend because this shit is lit. But yeah, so we just really enjoyed our time. We stayed, I think, up until Monday, if not Tuesday, and then we came home. And I think after that, I was just so done with partying. I didn't want to party at all anymore. I was done. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see another thing of liquor. I didn't care to listen to any more rap music, to any more hip hop music. I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I've had enough. I enjoyed my weekend. I'm good. Like, no, I don't ever want to do this again. So, yeah, like it was a good time. It was a great time going to Vegas. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. Would I recommend the Bellagio? Yes, but it's more of an older crowd that goes to the Bellagio. I think more our speed, meaning like 20s, 30s, is more like Aria. Some people call it Area, but I call it Aria. That's more of our speed. I would think like Planet Hollywood, Treasure Island. That's more of our crowd. Bellagio is nice though because it's right in the middle, so that's you can't beat that. But it is an older crowd that does stay there. So just an FYI if you do want to go to Vegas one time. So chapter 1 was very simple, very easy. It wasn't that long. Welcome to the party basically was just, like I said, explaining what I really was focused on at 20 and 21. I had taken the NYPD test. I was waiting for my results. I was waiting to get the call to start the process. I was partying. I was having a good time. It was a great time. Like, me and my friends were always hanging out. We were always going to one of our former friends, going to her house, and we was out late. Of course, I was texting my mom and my dad, like, yeah, you know, I'm here. Like, I'm at her house, and we're all just, you know, having a good time. The minivan, rest in peace to that minivan, was the go-to for every, you know, Friday, Saturday night. We even went out on Sunday nights, brunches, and I don't even, well, were they even called brunches back then? I guess so. They were called brunches back then. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm that old. I'm really not that old. I'm only 30. but I just don't remember what the hell we called it. But it was probably called brunches too. And day parties. Like, that's all like we did. We partied and partied and partied and partied, and we enjoyed it. We had a good time, and in doing that, we were also trying to figure out what it is that we wanted to do in life. But I would definitely say year 20, year 22, even year 23 was the time where you're really gonna just enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy being legal. You're gonna enjoy having more freedom, I should say. Being able to be outside and do more on adult things, and just enjoy what's to come. Sorta. Enjoy basically what it's like the calm before the storm. I'll say that. Those first 3-4 years is the calm before the storm, because as you creep into your 20s, late 20s, getting into your 30s, things start to get real, things start to change. And it's not all based off of going to the club, partying all the time. Unless that's your lifestyle, unless that's the type of lifestyle where you want to live and you're like a promoter or you're a host, and that's, you know, you like the nightlife, or if you're a bartender and that's just, you know, your thing. But for the most part, I think me and my friends really just were trying to figure out where it is we wanted to go in life and what direction we were taking. But we all had jobs. From what I remember, we all had jobs. I know I did. I definitely had a job, and a few of my other friends definitely did too. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Vegas parties, drunk nights. My 21st birthday, I was shit-faced on my 21st birthday. Like, I had my head out the window. Like, my ex-boyfriend, his friend was driving, and all I remember is my head. I was in the back seat, but my head was just like leaning out the window like this. Like, I was literally having my head out the window like this and just letting the breeze hit me, because the moment that it stopped, I got nauseous. I got so nauseous the moment that breeze stopped, and I was just like, give me water, give me water. And it was, I think, how many of us was in his little coupe? Like, he had a 4-door. He had a 4-door, and it was an old Honda. And he was driving. She was in the front. Me, him. Oh no, I was here. He was here. She was there. It was at least, I want to say, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, maybe 6 of us in the car at one time, in that little ass car. And my driveway to the house, it was like one of those hill type of driveways, so he pulled into the right one, because the left one was where my parents parked, and he had pulled in, and it was a stick shift. So I remember it was like 4 a.m, and my father is like out the window leaning like this, looking at us come in. Because, you know, it's my first, I think this is my first time being out of the house later than like 2, 3 o'clock. I think I had somewhat of a curfew. I probably did. I probably had like a 2 a.m. curfew or so. Like when I was 2019 or so, I had like a 2 a.m. curfew. And then this is my first time, actually, my birthday, being out, and they was like, okay, we'll just come in at a decent time. But that was when the club was over. So I came in like 4 or 5 in the morning, and my father was leaning out the window, or leaning at the window like this, and he was just like, just watching us, and he saw my ex-boyfriend's friend, the car almost slid into the fucking garage, and we screamed. Like, I woke up out of nowhere, and I just screamed because I felt the car, like, I had the door open, and I'm like, my head's spinning, I'm drunk, and you hear everybody screaming at 4 a.m, because we thought the car was gonna go into the garage, and he eventually was able to, like, to, I guess, turn the wheel to where the car wouldn't go, like wouldn't glide into the garage. I hopped out. My boyfriend is holding me. My father has the door open already, and I see him, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad," and he's like, "Hi, Show." He's like, "Hi, Show," and he just sees us come in. Like, all he wanted to do was just make sure that I came home. And then my room was, so like if you walk into the door, you walk in, my aunt's apartment was up the steps this way, but that was one door, and then our house was right here. So the dining room was right here, and then the kitchen, it was a wall, and then the kitchen, and then my room was where the old dining room was. So what was originally the dining room was now my room, and my parents' room was straight ahead, and then my brother's room was on next door to them. And so he got me into my room. My two friends got me into my room, and our former friend had left. She went with her boyfriend at the time, and my boyfriend's friend was just sitting in the car waiting to see like what he was doing. Was he gonna stay with me or was he gonna leave? So he ended up staying, and so did my other two friends. They ended up staying as well. They stayed downstairs because it was actually it's a two-family house, but we had downstairs as more like a living room, entertainment room, and so they stayed downstairs and on our big couch that we had, and he was upstairs with me. And I was just so drunk. Like, he had to hold my hair. I was throwing up. It was terrible. And this is why I said I will never drink again. Like, I would never get drunk like that again, because it was terrible. Like, I hated it. The next day, I think he left. Or he didn't spend the night. He just stayed a little bit. That's what he did. He stayed for a little bit because he just wanted to make sure that I was good. And then I think around like 6 o'clock or so, he left. And I was knocked out. My friends were downstairs. And later on that morning, when we all eventually woke up, they got me Advil, some toast, and some ginger ale. They gave me everything. And I was just so like, I was fucked up. Like, my head was spinning. I even, oh God, I don't even think I want to say that I did that, because I remember I did that. But I did. No, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say that, because that would be terrible. But that was it. I was done. And I think even that time too, that was my last time drinking light liquor. I never drank light liquor after that. I don't think I did any light liquor after that. That was it. I had transformed into the dark side after that, because light liquor had me gone, boy. I was gone. So I never drank light liquor after that again. Now I can a little bit. I could do Casamigos a little bit. Tequila, me and Tequila still not friends. Me and Tequila, we still not there, because Tequila, when I went to Mexico, I know it was a whole different type of tequila, but it didn't matter. I don't like tequila. I'm not a tequila person. I'm still more a dark liquor person, but I'm definitely more so onto the red wine. But either way, chapter 1, welcome to the party. That was some good times, some good memories happened in those years, the early 20s. They were good. They were fun. And yeah, like, that's really what it was. But yeah. So to end this off, I am going to always give a message to anybody who is listening, who's in their early 20s and who is enjoying this first chapter of their life. Listen, have fun, enjoy it, have a good time. And it's not to say that you can't balance both. It's not to say that you can't balance school and balance going out, finding a career and going out. more than likely, depending on what your career path is, you're going to have to give more attention to your career than you are going to have to going out. And honestly, the clubs aren't going nowhere. I mean, they're not. That lifestyle isn't going anywhere. And you do have all the time in the world to enjoy it. It's not to say that you have to enjoy the clubs and the nightlife early on in your 20s. I just did because I had it all figured out in my head. Like, this is where I was going and this is what was gonna happen. And I was just enjoying doing my little retail jobs and having the money that I was making and enjoying it and just waiting for the time to come for me to get into my career. And again, that's not everybody. Not everybody wants to do that type of career. Other people want to be a dentist, an architect, a lawyer, and that takes time. That's even, especially to be a doctor. I think it's like 7 years. Then you gotta do like another 3 years as a resident, and then you gotta do another 3 years as something else. Was it a fellow? Listen, again, it all depends on your career path. It all depends on what it is you're interested in. So don't feel ashamed if you see your other friends are having a good time and they're doing, they're enjoying and they're, partying and they're doing this and that, and I'm here reading books. Well, that's your choice. And that's your path that you're choosing to go on, and there's nothing wrong with that. You are absolutely fine in where you're at. So if that's what you're choosing to do it. Again, the clubs aren't going anywhere. The clubs will be there all the time. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, they're not going anywhere. And if I could tell my younger self then what I know now, I would say have a plan B. Plan A is always good to have, and always try your hardest to stick with plan A, because that's your goal. That's what you want. You want plan A to happen. But always have a plan B. Even if plan B is like the little tiny guy right here, and plan A is like the massive, it's gonna happen. Always still have a plan B just in case. Have a backup just in case, and make sure that backup, you have just as much love for that as you do for plan A. Because if I had a backup, or I had more of an idea of what else it is that I wanted to do, and not just so headstrong on NYPD detective, become an officer, then detective, and have it just like this, in that order, I probably would be in a whole different space in my life. And not to say my life right now is terrible, because it's not, but it would be a completely different circle, or a different type of life that I would be living right now. But that would be something I would tell my younger self. Yeah, have a plan B just in case, because you never know what could happen. Sometimes when we plan things, God's plan is something completely different. Like, I remember somebody telling me that, like, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. And that was literally it. Like I said, my goal and my thought of how my life was going to go was like this, and it didn't happen like that. And granted, I had part to do. Obviously, I had, to do. I had, you know what I'm trying to say. I took part in that, but also it wasn't in the cards for me for it to happen. So always have a plan B. Just have a backup just in case, no matter what it is. Just have that as a fallback on, just in case something else, your first original plan doesn't work out. And it's fine if you have a plan B. Don't listen to people when they say, you shouldn't have a plan B. No, you should, because that way you don't fall on your ass and you have something else to back you up, just in case your first thought didn't, or your first career goal didn't work out. And it's perfectly fine. It is. You'll be okay. So, how was that? Did you like it? So it's like a little conversational piece. It was kind of just talking about the chapters and talking about other details that I may not have expressed in the book or the chapters. But again, make sure you guys get my book. It is on Amazon now, Kindle and paperback version. I also, disclaimer, wanted to let you guys know, I do know there are a little bit of misspellings happening in the book. Completely sorry about that. I've had this book like proofread like 3-4 times and I don't know what happened, but things happen. It's my first book, but I am gonna get this book possibly rewritten, and I'll do a 2.0 to add more chapters to it, depending on the outcome of it. I mean, it's doing good so far and I'm very proud of it because it is my first book and I did it all by myself. So I'm very proud of it, but definitely want to continue to write more and continue to write different books to help people out. Like, why not? But yes, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I just got something in my eye. Jesus. And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come follow your girl, okay? And make sure you hit that little ring the bell, so that way whenever I do upload a video, you guys are aware and you guys can check it out. Check it out. All right, y'all. So I hope you guys have a great evening, a great morning, a great afternoon. Again, be easy on yourself. This is a journey. This is a process. Love you guys. Bye.
So